personally think that this winter, the self-center, this one right now, which is not that bad here at least, is the end. And from now on, when September comes, we'll ingather. What does ingathering mean? It means all those people that are scattered throughout this world will find their way back to self-center, and then we'll be on a road of building a new, not order, nation. A brand new nation. Well, there'll be no politicians, no courts, where there'll be no sickness, no need for anything. That's what we are about. And this is why Dee was prophesying about chiropractic, and we, the prophets, served knowing, at least we should have, knowing that we were going to be prosecuted and persecuted and looked upon as evil people, not knowing anything. But the day is almost come to an end. So there are no coincidences. Everything is done for a reason, a purpose. And tomorrow we're going to declare a Roman holiday. This is way before the time of that fella called Jesus. On the 15th of February, and incidentally the word February comes from fever, heat, and they had the idea we had a fever in order to clean ourselves out. So they made a Roman holiday out of it. And February comes from fever. And tomorrow will be a Roman holiday, the day of purification. Now these big people never even heard of the Bible. Never did. Yet they declared a Roman holiday a day of purification. And we have purification in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Yes, we must become pure. Get rid of our debris, our waste within us. Now, if you have never seen a weeping camel, I suggest you look at it. Get yourself a copy and look at it. And there you will see how a camel is struggling to give birth to her little camel. And it is a tremendous, difficult time. And when the little camel was born, she would not feed it, because when she looked at that camel, all she could sense was the labor, the pain behind it. In other words, a structure came about to give her this pain. and that structure became frozen. Yeah, frozen. And she was stuck with that structure until finally they had some sort of a method how to make her forget this horrible experience. So they sent away for some musician, and he came around with a violin with 2 strings, and he put the violin on a camel, and the lady of the house kept easing the camel, and then the fella was going to play this thing, asked for the violin, and guess what? He tuned the violin, looked more like a bass fiddle, I call it a violin. He tuned it to the tone of that violin, because that violin picked up the tone of the camel. And he started playing. And finally the camel started weeping, meaning what was stuck in her started to melt down, and the structure was gone, and she accepted the baby to be fed. Now these people do these things, they probably don't understand why or how, but they do it. But at least they have more sense than we have. We would have gotten in some veterinarian who would do this, do that, drugs here, drugs there, but they use the old method that Brian was telling you about before. Frequencies. Each one of us has his or her frequency. So, it might be nice tomorrow if we all thought about the day of purification. But if you get a little hot, a little warm, be happy. You're melting down. And that's what the great meltdown is going to be outside. It's melting down in us. All that frozen structure